price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
My mic was muted. My bad, y'all. My bad. Okay, I just saw that. All right. But black first. All right. Black first, brothers and sisters. Sorry about that. I apologize. My mic was muted. Okay, but I'm here now. I'm good now. All right. So black first to every single last one of you guys. We got a lot to discuss. I apologize for the tardiness here. I got a long clip, and for some reason, even though I filmed the thing sideways, for some reason the thing was like long ways. The video that I played was long ways, so I had to like re-edit it and put it all sideways or whatever the case is, and it's still uploading. All right, so we're going to essentially get started now. I'm going to start off by going to the website live for you guys. I'm going to the website live for you guys, and then I'm going to play my last video that I did. Actually, I think I'm going to play the last video that I did discussing this subject, and I'm going to show you guys what we saw last time and what we discussed last time, and then what we saw this time. You know, whenever this thing is downloaded, it's going to be well worth it, because this is going to be the end of everything. So last time when we discussed this, I said, okay, they're plotting to essentially, you know, like finesse their way, because they understand that the grassroots, the black grassroots, is standing up against all of the stuff that they're doing. They understand that. So I got a clip. Now, remember when I said last time that showing up at these meetings, and I went to the website live to show you guys the meetings, to show you guys when the meeting time was. Where was it? Where was it? Right here. Okay, now everything wants to act a little bit slow, but it's okay. We're right here. Let me share my screen with you guys for a second, because this is going to be a little bit. This is going to be a little bit of time. We're going to be here because we really got to break this down, because they're organizing, they're plotting, they're planning. So, do you guys remember this? This is what we had in our last live stream. In the last live stream, let me make sure it's full screen for you guys. In the last live stream we did, I showed you guys, or the last live stream we did about the migration issue. I said, when we show up at these city councils, because what they were doing was they were finessing the date. That's what they were doing. They were, finessing the time. So I'm all like, what we should do anytime we go to any other meeting, make it about reparations, make it about that, right? So I'll go there just to double check, double check the times and all that. And then I see when I go to the past meetings, so I go there and I see today. Hold on, let me see, because I'm going to pull this up because it's loading right now. Today, now, as you can see, that was the next meeting, and then I played it. They'll have regular meetings and stuff like this. You can, when I fast forward it right here, and it shows right here, they added another meeting to this meeting. They added a completely different meeting. So today is the 14th. As you can see, let me show you on this screen. This is the 13th. Let me show you. Let's let it play a little bit. Since we're talking about going to them, let's play a little bit. Because what they'll do is they'll be all like, hold on. I want to play a tad bit because I want to show you guys. This is literally within a week span. This was the latest thing up here. If you guys can see it, the latest thing was up here was the 13th. There was nothing past the 13th. All right. So then what they did after they did the thing with the 13th, and this is how we know what they're doing is very deliberate. So we said, okay, they have a general council meeting on the 13th. So then what they did Now I'm gonna show you the other screen. A couple days after they established that it was on the 13th, what they did was they discussed that they were going to have a quote unquote special meeting. So let me show you guys this. Now this is the site today. As you can see right here, the 13th was the regular city council meeting. The 13th, 10 a.m., whatever the case is, that was just a regular city council meeting. And then you had a special meeting. This was the special meeting that was not there before. So what they're doing is they're not announcing all of the meetings at one time. They're announcing one meeting and then having everybody set their schedule and then announcing another meeting because they have to do that publicly, but they announce it kind of last minute. They do this. The reason is so they can have select people to show up, because we've been showing up and essentially the black grassroots have been disrupting everything. The black grassroots have been voicing their egregiance against this. So what they're doing is they're like, okay, well, we got to somewhat filter black people from showing up, but they can't block black people from showing up because it's public to everybody. So they can't block anybody from showing up. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have a regular meeting, and then last minute we're going to have a migrant meeting, but we're going to let all of these Hispanics get the heads up so they can come ahead of time. So what they do is they come there with a bunch of different organizations. They come there with a bunch of different groups and stuff like that. And they come there, quote unquote, representing for their people. So it was very, very sheisty what they were doing. And when I got there, barely any black people were there at all. It was only, and the only black people were there is people I knew. So I'm like, okay, this is the deliberate thing that they're being very well organized to do, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to change the public image about how Chicago is viewing the immigration crisis, the invasion. That's what they're trying to do. So what they're saying is that if we have these meetings and we finesse and we filter the people who can show up and we filter the people who can speak, when CBS, ABC News, when they pick it up, it's going to seem to the public view that this is what the people want. Let me show you something else they did. And what they did right here, I've literally never seen this before. Y'all, look at this. I don't know. Let me see if I had a better angle. I couldn't take it at that well of an angle. If you look closely, they brought children to the meeting. These are children. These are children age 10, 9, 11 years old. Bunch of Hispanic kids. There were some black kids too. They brought them there to the meeting, and they told them to clap anytime they wanted them to clap. So they're doing this because they want to have the camp. They're using children as like a prop. They're using children as a prop to say, oh, look at the Hispanic kids. How are you going to tell the Hispanic kids they have to go home? And they're having the kids clap on cue so everybody can seem like they're all on board. This was very orchestrated. Brandon Johnson came up with this immediately because he knew for a fact that they were going to get the heads up, and he's going to keep doing this so he can change the public narrative about how the migrant crisis is affecting Chicago. Now, I'm going to show you the how orchestrated everything was. Let me show you. It's clips by clips of everybody getting up and damn near saying the same script thing over and over. Let me take this off. Hold on. Let me take this image off. Now, this woman, check this out. Now, when I first saw her, I'm all like, okay, well, we got a sister up here. But boy, was I wrong. Listen to this.
Morning, everyone. My name is Adam, and I am an immigrant from Ethiopia who has called Chicago home for 27 years.
Now, you hear that? She says she's an immigrant from Ethiopia, and she has called Chicago home for 27 years.
I also represent the United African Organization, which is a Chicago-based organization that supports Black immigrants, who today represent 1 in 10 Black people in the United States. I want to share a story yesterday that I had with Miguel and his wife, Albertina, who are the dangerous trek from Angola and across the forest, fleeing persecution with their 4 children. And we asked him, why Chicago? Why did you come to Chicago? And he said he always knew when he had to leave, but he wanted to come to Chicago. Because what he had seen of Chicago, the Chicago of Michael Jordan, the Chicago of Barack Obama, had to be a welcoming place. And so he chose Chicago. Let's be clear, repealing the welcoming city ordinance will disproportionately affect Chicago's Black immigrant community, who are 3 times more likely to be detained and deported due to interactions with law enforcement. Whether you are undocumented or documented, that.
Now, she says the Chicago Black, it's hard to hear, but she's saying the Chicago Black immigrants are 3 times more likely to be deported, whether you're illegal or not illegal, whether you're documented or not documented. That's not true. That doesn't make any sense. The Black immigrants coming over here are not coming over here at the same way the Hispanic immigrants are coming over here. What she is there to do is she is there as a prop to try to tie some type of Black and brown coalition, as if, no, this isn't about brown immigrants. This is about all immigrants. Black and brown immigrants are coming over here. No, that's not the case. And the thing is that she is siding, this is the problem, she is siding with Hispanic immigrants over the Black residents over here. This is the problem that we have when we say a lot of these foreigners coming over here, even the Black ones coming over here, they have more of allegiance to what they feel are other foreigners. They have more of allegiance to what they feel are other people who are not from here than they do their own Blackness. They see themselves as foreigners first instead of Black first, and they operate this way, all right? Because nobody is talking about Ethiopia. There's not no huge Ethiopian population in Chicago for her to even sit up here and advocate for a sanctuary city being in Chicago to protect Ethiopia. That is statistically not true. I'm telling you what I know. That's not true. What she's doing is she's coming over here and she's trying to make it seem as if this doesn't just affect Hispanics. This is affecting Black people as well, too, because what the news is going to do is the news is going to see, well, you know, it's not a race thing. And that's what they've been trying to do. Well, it's not a Black and it's not a brown thing. It's really an all immigrant thing. And Blacks and browns are both equally affected by this. And that is not the case. All right, she is there to create this bridge of a Black and brown coalition that does not exist. But let's let her finish though.
Statistics remains to be true. Repealing the welcoming city ordinance will cost families that have been here for years, have families that have children that have contributed to this city.
All right, just give it a second, y'all. Okay. Why is it pausing?
To once again live in fear, to again be afraid to fully participate in our communities, in our society, to be afraid to seek resources, to go to the hospital, to call police when they're in danger. Therefore, I urge the the altars here to hold you
Now,
to
hold
God
on.
and
Before we continue. Now, is gonna get a lot better. The thing is that I'm still downloading the really big clip, so that's why it's a little laggy right now because the big clip is still uploading. I mean, now listen to what they're saying. This is how I know for a fact. I know it. I'm seeing it with my eyes. I'm reporting it and I'm showing it directly to you. I know for a fact that all of this stuff is orchestrated. All of this stuff is planned. All of this stuff is rehearsed. These people are not coming up here talking about their own individual stories. These people are coming up here with pieces of paper and they're reading the same shit off the same piece of paper because they all had a meeting prior to this. That's why they're all here. That's why they all know where to be. That's why they're all there first in the first place. They're saying the same thing. Listen to what they're saying. She's sitting up there talking about they're going to be afraid to go to the hospitals. They're going to be afraid to call the police. That's what they keep saying. Now I'm going to play other clips and they're saying the exact same thing. And they all claim they're from different organizations, from different people with different lives who don't know each other. But they all say the same thing though.
and to help us work together to build a city where everyone can feel safe, whether you came here fleeing persecution and seeking refuge, or your families were exported here against your will. This city can work for all of us, and I urge you to not support this resolution. Thank
you. You see the kids? And I don't really want to show the kids. I don't really want to show the kids, but did you see them? These are kids. These are little kids who need to be in school. Now, there would be no way in the world that a black parent could bring their school-age child to a city meeting like this on a school day. They would say that's what would they say? That's neglectful parenting. That's bad parenting. Okay, the parent would get in trouble, but they're bringing their kids there. The kids are looking around like the kids don't know what's going on. They're being used as a prop. So when the camera pans over to them, the camera shows a lot of little kids, and it sways the public image about the Hispanics doing something illegal. That's why every time they talk about the Hispanics doing something, it's all like, oh, look, the babies, though, the babies, because they know people intrinsically have a sense of protection over children. People don't want harm to come to children. So what they're doing, very, very nefarious, what they're doing is they're putting the kids in a position. All of the kids were bunched up together too. They're putting the kids in a position so when the camera looks at them, the camera can be like, well, the kids though, look at the kids. That's what they're doing. It's very nefarious. It's shameful out here. It's very shameful, and it's showing how desperate they are. It's showing how very desperate they are. Now, let me show you this other clip. Zoom. Yeah. Gotta put it up. I gotta put these things up one at a time so it doesn't like lag like that. Now, this comes from another quote unquote organization where they're talking. Look, this is another. Where'd that clip go? Okay, there it is. Oh no, not okay. I already played that. I already have that clip up there. I pressed that was one of our sisters up there speaking, but I wanted to show you guys how organized everything is. Hold on for a second. Hold on for 1 second. Let me show you guys. I didn't even get a chance to download this. I had to put it on my phone. I have to upload it on my phone for a second. So this clip right here.
I'm a graduate of Carl Schurz High School, and I'm currently a student at Dominican University studying neurobiology with a dream of doing research on neurodegenerative diseases to help those with devastating conditions.
So right there, she's talking about her college. I know it's kind of muffled a little bit, but follow me, y'all. Follow me. She's talking about her college. That's what she's talking about.
Also undocumented, and I feel comfortable saying that.
And she just admits, I'm also undocumented.
Here today because of the Washington City Ordinance. The Washington City Ordinance isn't giving me money to attend college, pay for food, or an apartment or health insurance. All the Welcoming City ordinance has given me and thousands of other immigrants in Chicago is the chance to live without fear that my immigration status alone would be a reason for the police or another city police to call ICE and have me picked up. I cannot imagine that any city council member would want me or thousands of immigrants to live in fear. I know that you want Chicago to be a
See the whole the live in fear, the live in fear. I don't want to live in fear. They're all saying the same exact thing. That's how you know for a fact these people are not telling their own individual stories. These people are all saying the same exact thing.
Place that defends the rights and dignity of all Chicagoans, regardless of the immigration or resident status. That is why I'm here today, to ask you, the city council members, to keep the Welcoming City ordinance in place. It is a common sense and humane measure that protects the rights and safety of all Chicago immigrants. Let us defend the Welcoming City ordinance to protect the peace, safety, and human rights of all immigrants who contribute to the vitality and strength of the city. Let us prove that Chicago is a city of hope, not fear, and a city of unity, not division. Let us make Chicago a welcoming city for all. Thank you.
The whole thing about, oh, well, the fear is going on. All of that stuff is very, very orchestrated. I'm literally looking at it and I'm seeing it, and you can hear how loud the room gets. You can literally hear how loud the room gets. We only had 2 people who was up there speaking any sort of truth to power. You had to be there early and to sign up, because you can't just walk up to the mic. You have to sign up. Now, when I first got there, this brother was there, and I'm glad I was able to record him, because he's very unapologetic with how he speaks.
Aren't you black? Aren't you black? Don't you live black? Have you experienced the suffering that our people have gone through and still going through it? Having another group to come up in line and get in front of us. You got the right one on this line. You got the right one. Listen, there's more. We got children here, and you can be respectful. I am respectful, and I'm advocating for the black children. Because you all trying to do it for us out. And you in for job good, contract and service. Who do you think I am, or who are you? Who, if they clap, I can say boom. If they clap again, I can say boom. I'm strictly advocating for black people.
See, and this is what we need. When people say, when folks get up there and say, I'm strictly advocating for black people, I will give the fact that this man is not scared. Folks get up there, well, I just feel like it's a little unfair, and I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's just not right, and there's a better way to do it. You got to get up there and you really got to say, I'm strictly advocating for black people with this situation. All this soft shoeing, being soft, these people are literally organizing, having secret meetings like some type of supervillains against us, against Black Chicago. And if we don't come there unapologetically and get there on the mic and represent for real for the people, for the culture, then essentially you need to sit down. Now, there was another sister who got up there.
That has been going on here. It's just crazy. I'm going to get started with a few things since I got 3 minutes. Number 1, I'm a native to Chicago. I was born and raised here. I've seen the changes. Don't let the age fool you for how I look, because I've been here a long time. I have seen things just transition as if a lot of people are not important here. I'm not for the sanctuary city. And the reason why I'm not for the sanctuary city is because people have waited years to come in here legally, not just transported on these buses, dropped off in our neighborhoods, raised of crime, almost got hit several times just making it down here today. And this is ludicrous. There should not be 2 sets of laws. Also, the west side and the south side black communities have been earmarked for having funds. Never seen it. We're still waiting on those funds to come into those communities. Brandon Johnson, many people stood behind you. They feel let down. Because the day you came into office, which I believe was May 15th, you already had signed an executive order. Now, whether it came from Governor Pritzker or whomever that directed you on this, is it fair to these communities that have been waiting for years? You said you're on the west side, but you should know what's going on over there as well. Let's also talk about the things that I witnessed about crimes that are going on. Also, just watching my neighbor hook up electric, okay? Reroute the gas, burning grass on the lawn. When are you going to have our neighborhoods cleaned up? And when are we going to get the rights that we deserve? I'm not against anyone coming in here legally. I want to say that clearly. But for those who have not, they don't top us. They don't go before us. We're not last in line. $9,000 going to illegals, but those who live here have not gotten funding yet. Many people homeless. My husband is a veteran. Now, you know I got a heart for that. But we got a lot of these on the street. And I also have been one that works at food pantries, also helping people who are on the street. They need to be taken care of. They need to stop being neglected, because if we don't have a voice here, we will have a voice out there. And those aldermen who are not hearing, okay?
Now, they shut her, they closed her when she got up there to speak. There was one of the, I guess he was a security officer or something like that. He was like, oh, ma'am. Now, as her timer, she gets 3 minutes. As her timer was running, she was like, ma'am, I need to see what's in your bag. I need to see what's in your bag, or whatever the case is, right? So at the end, the way things were going, eventually this is what happened. This video is coming up now. Okay. So eventually the ordinance, eventually they succeeded to remain the ordinance, or whatever, I guess to postpone it, or whatever the case is. Now, this is an alderman who actually spoke up. He stood up and spoke against what they did, which was an obvious plot.
It is a shame that you all are scared. What are you scared of to let the people have a voice? What are you scared of? The truth? Are we scared of the truth here? Are we afraid that the people are going to tell us that we are spending money frivolously in this body? Are we afraid that the people are going to tell us that we are headed in the wrong direction? Are we afraid that the people are going to finally stand up and speak in the city of Chicago, that they're saying that this ship is headed in the wrong direction? Why are we afraid to let the people speak? That's all this question is asking, is to let the people have a say in what's going on in this body. But we're afraid of the truth. Crime is running rampant. Yeah. Our schools are in trouble. We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on people that don't even pay taxes in this city. And I'm all for taking care of people. I get it. I am sympathetic as well. However, I'm more sympathetic for the people in my community that have been paying taxes their entire life, can't get a furnace, can't get a roof, can't get a hot water heater, can't get a back porch, and my seniors are still starving for resources. Come on. That's the question we need to be asking our people. When we vote on stuff that is not affecting the people of this city that are suffering day in and day out. Yeah. That's the only question that we are trying to get to the bottom of. Yeah. There's no conscionable way we should be voting on hundreds of millions of dollars to just, go to Brighton Park only to have the whole thing blown up.
Come on, Bill, make it.
Now, what he's talking about is that, remember, we've been discussing about the tents. They've spent millions and millions of dollars. Okay. He said 100 million. I believe his number is accurate. They spent 100 million to set the tents up. Contractors, the machines to clear the pathway, because they were going to build the tents despite the protests, despite the fact that people clearly did not want the tents there. And they stopped the tents. They stopped them because it was a safety hazard. Because I guess when they were examining the location, they deemed the location unsafe to put the tent there. Because Brandon's dumbass thought that it was going to be a smart idea. But then when they said, okay, well, you can't safely put a bunch of tents here. So all of that money that they spent to set the tents up, to buy the equipment, to hire the people, all to clear out the land, to make the construction, all of that stuff just went to waste. Just went to waste. That's what he's talking about right now.
We need to wake up. That's all we're trying to do, y'all. We're trying to wake up. Yeah. This is not about going along, get along, because I'm scared to make something over. Exactly. Our people are demanding change, they're demanding resources, and they're demanding that we do something different in this body. But I guess we don't want to do that. We don't want the people to speak. We don't want the people to be heard. Because I know most of you all in this body feel that, your community doesn't care what goes on downtown, just what goes on in the ward. But this affects the people in the ward. This is affecting the people in their household who are struggling to pay their rent, their light, their gas, trying to get food on the table. But yet we can find money to just throw out the bag and burn it up. That's all we're doing. We're taking it out back and we're burning it up. So, I'm good with y'all decisions. I hope you all sleep good tonight, knowing that you all continue to turn your back on the people that are paying taxes in this city. So if that's how you feel, God bless you, and I wish you a very good night's sleep.
If Brandon Johnson's the captain of the ship, it's good.
Now, it was a whole bunch of people. There was a whole Brandon, boy, this man is despicable. I'm gonna have this clip loaded up because this is the big clip that I really wanted to get on today. But before we do this, because this clip takes a minute. What they're doing, what Brandon is doing, is because he knows that publicly Black Chicagoans do not approve collectively. We've seen in every single legitimate meeting, not City Hall, because that's City Hall. Every single community meeting where you see at a community center, where you see at a school, a college, even on the street. Anytime you see Black Chicagoans, you see them saying, we don't want them here. They're dangerous. They're tethering off of our resources. We've been here. You guys have been promising things to the South Side. You guys have been promising things to the West Side for decades now. You guys have closed down schools that you promised that you guys would be bringing back, failed to do so, neglected to do so. We're the most over-policed, yet we're the most neglected when it comes to resources in the community. And every single administration, every single fiscal year, you're going to be like, okay, we're putting this money specifically to invest in the community, to invest in a park, to invest in a school, to invest in a business. You guys keep saying these things for the South Side and for the West Side, and it winds up just never happening. It just doesn't happen. All right. Then these people, these invaders, these foreigners get to come over here. And then all of a sudden, because there's a couple of little kids sleeping on the floor, what you guys do deliberately, you guys have a couple of them sleeping on the floor. All of a sudden, things are just, it's Armageddon. So you're spending millions of dollars to make their life more comfortable, is what they're doing. This is why people of the Black Chicagoans are getting upset. So the last meeting they had, remember, I was there. It was a big, huge ruckus, and they had to shut the meeting down. Ever since they literally turned the lights off and said, everybody go home, everybody go home. All right. I was there I documented the whole thing. Ever since then, they thought to themselves, okay, we got to switch this up. We got to change this up. We can't keep doing this, because when you got black residents, and the thing is that when you have a foreigner come in here and they be all like, I came here and, you know, my family, I came here since I was 5 years old, and I'm sorry, you know, I've worked so hard and I'm not documented. It's not fair. But then when you have black people who grew up here, who pay taxes here, when you have those people come up and say, hey, as a taxpayer, this is not legal, this is not legitimate, this is not right, we as taxpayers are being ignored in this city, and you're sitting up there giving them preferential treatment, that looks bad for the image. That's the thing. They have to do it, but they have to spin it as if this is some moral thing. And when they have the black residents showing up and saying that it's not moral, it takes away from the legitimacy. Like I'm saying, as in no diss to the non-FBA, but specifically since we're talking about the FBA in Chicago, in really period, anywhere, we have a moral legitimacy in the world, okay? Especially in America. So anytime we say something is not legal, anytime we say something is not moral, anytime we say something is not right, it completely negates everything the media has to say about it. They can point at the camera and they can try to make the case for something being legitimate, something being moral, something being empathetic, something being right. But when we show up and we say, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be, nobody really trumps what we say as far as moral legitimacy. So they know that, and they know they can't stop us from saying that. They know they can't block us from saying that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to filter the amount of us who gets to say that. So they're having little pop-up meetings. Okay, this little special meeting, that's a pop-up meeting. It was barely advertised, barely anybody knew about it. Literally last week, I reported on it last week. It was not there last week. It wasn't there last week. They're having these pop-up meetings. They're going to the Hispanic community. They're letting the Hispanic community know ahead of time. They're rehearsing what they're saying with these little splinter organizations, and they're coming up over here and saying, my puppy, he's coming over here and I just think he has a job, he needs a job. And they're coming over here saying the same thing, the scripted thing. They're having the news record them. They're doing this so when they have the thing next year, which is going to be really in 2024, March 2024, they'll have all this footage of Chicago saying that they're legitimate. That's why they have a couple of tethers, a couple of coons going on like, no, man, black and brown. They'll have that stuff there. They're even having the children. They're having the children show up. And the children don't even know what they're doing there, but the children are clapping. That's how nefarious they're doing. They're literally using children because they have no legal, number one, and no, more importantly, moral reason for coming here. It's really all gone. So that's really their plot and their twist, okay? To have these little pop-up meetings and be all like, okay, well, hold on, we had a meeting, we let people speak, but the only people who spoke was Hispanics, the only people who spoke was for the immigration, and it's just no coincidence. So, I mean, we just listened to what the people had to say, and the people had to say they wanted the sanctuary city. So what are we supposed to do? This is their plan, all right? So when a couple of us show up, it almost comes off like we're a fringe group of people like, no, man, we don't want them over here, or whatever the case is. This is why I said in my last broadcast that I did about this very same subject that we have to be on top of everything. We have to be very organized when it comes to this stuff, because we don't need a large group of people. They need a whole group of people. They need this organization, that organization. Listen, I'm telling you, they were coming there color coded and shit. They were coming there literally wearing the same outfits. We don't gotta do that. We don't have to do that. We just gotta show up in enough numbers early enough to get on the mic. See, what happens is when we get on the mic, when there's enough of us who gets on the mic, they essentially are like, damn, this meeting is bad. It's a bad batch. They look at every single meeting like good and bad. If enough of us show up and push against their narrative, then they are like, okay, we got to scrap that meeting. We got to start fresh. So we have to have another meeting. They need a certain amount of meetings that go their way, that side in their direction, that push their agenda. They need a certain amount of those meetings so they can say, now we had like 7 meetings and they all said the same thing. So it's the public. But every time we show up, we knock a couple of them down. So that's why they're having these surprise pop-up meetings. Oh my God, we just announced it yesterday. What a coincidence. Only the Hispanic community knew about it. I just don't know. I don't know who told them, but I didn't do it, but they hear it. So that's what it happens. This is a deliberate plan. So it's nothing that we can't do. It's not all hope is lost. All hope is not lost. It's not. We're here to show that what we have to, they're scared. This is a sense of fear. So what we have to do is we have to tighten up. We have to, especially in Chicago, but this doesn't just go with Chicago, because this is happening in New York. This is happening in DC. This is happening in Atlanta or Georgia. This is happening in Carolina. This is happening all around in Texas, all around the place. All that needs to happen is you need to have a solid group. Not that we're a group, but you need to have a solid bunch of people who have the same agenda to come up there and pretty much speak the same thing. The same way they're rehearsing what they're saying, and they're coming up here like, I just want to say, when I was 7 years old, I was an illegal immigrant, and I am so glad Chicago is letting me come over here. And if you take this sanctuary, they're coming over here saying the same shit. That's what they're doing. So, okay, fine. Since that's their plan, we know what their plan is. That's okay. When you read this, like I was talking about with the boxing thing in my last live, when you know how a boxer boxes, all you got to do is read the formula and then counter that. So we know they're showing up with different organizations. We know they're showing up with different nonprofits. What we do not do, don't show up trying to represent an organization. Do not show up saying, I'm the organization. Don't do that. That's what we don't do, okay? You show up as a resident. You show up as a resident, as a citizen of Chicago, New York, wherever you're representing. You're saying, I'm a taxpayer. I'm speaking on behalf of me, my family, my neighborhood, the people I've talked to, the people I've heard from, the people who've confided in me, the people who are saying these things who cannot be here right now. I'm speaking on their behalf, on behalf of Black Chicago or Black New York or Black Atlanta or Black LA or Black Texas. Okay, that's what you say. I'm here on behalf of foundational Black Americans in this land, in this neighborhood, in this state, in this city. And then you can find yourself organized. You make your points, you get your points across. Home in on the fact that what they're doing is not legally legitimate. You home in on that fact mainly. Now let me show you this. Okay, because this was the biggest thing. Let me show you this. So we were sitting up there, me and the family, it was a couple of brothers and sisters. We were just sitting up there. We were really just talking about how we were going to organize, you know, for the next time. We were just really talking about what we were going to do. Next thing you know, what's his name? Damn it, I forgot his first name. His Vasquez. Alderman Vasquez came out. Now, it's not like we were sitting up there waiting on him, but he came out. And he walked straight past us, and then we started calling him out. We was recording him, calling him out. That's why he came back here. That's why he came back to really talk. So we're gonna, this is the biggest thing. All right.
They say I'm from Ghana, I'm from Kenya.
I think the problem
they move you, but show us.
Well, some of the problem we have too is like claiming land, right? And again, we learned that from the imperialists. person came and ruined everybody's whole existence.
Yeah.
So that's a bigger problem too.
But I want to ask you something. Why is it okay to say people of color when you're not? It's unlawful to judge people based on their race, creed, or color.
Sure.
So every time you say people of color, we move it out. Why is it okay to say white don't have a color? The color of snow is white. It was not okay for me to live in the Jim Crow genocide days and be frozen out of a human family because my skin color is black. It's not okay for little white children today to be frozen out of the human family because their skin color is white.
Okay, here's the reality, right? When it comes to color, it's an invention, right? White folks decided to make a color, and they got to pick and choose who they want to lump underneath it. They don't talk about Lithuanian, German, everything else. They say, oh, we're going to consider you white. The Italians, when they came to the country, were considered white, and so they were. And so when you're asking why some folks, including myself, use the term people of color, one, you're right. The framing itself is a problem. But the intent...
Because it's people of countries. If you say...
No, but here's why.
No, if you... We are
racist. You want me to answer the question?
Yeah, but I just wanted to get back to people of color. Because you can... People of countries, if you say Asians, you're talking about countries. The country of India, China, Japan...
Right. But to answer the question...
See, now, this is what we should have been on for the longest time. This sister is on it, all right? All that people of color stuff, we got to stop. And we got to check them when they say that. Because people of color is deliberately vague. And he's going to admit that. He's going to admit that people of color is this all-inclusive word. So when we talk about countries and ethnic groups of people that are aggrieved, like everybody else does. When the Japanese were coming in there and they were talking about what happened with them with the internment camps, they were not talking about people of color. They were not even talking about Asians. They were specifically talking about their group of people. All right. These people come over here and they specifically talk about their group of people and their nation and how their nation has been treated by America. So when people talk about people of color, that is a word that messes up the whole thing. So he's going to admit it. He really is.
Why some of us use the term people of color. One, countries or anything else are categories that cause more division. When some of us attempt to use the term people of color, it's because all black, brown, yellow, everything else.
Thank you for stealing some of my time.
It's in a way to combine everybody.
Now he's saying black, brown, yellow, all that stuff. He's saying that because he knows for a fact people of color includes everybody. It's a big mishmash word that can mean, what does people of color mean? It can mean anything at any time to anybody in any context. It's a word that means nothing. And a word that means nothing can mean anything you want it to mean when you want it to mean that. Now, that guy, that black dude who just walked by, now that the sister that spoke before, he stole some of her time. Because when her timer was going off, he walked up to her and interrupted her to check her bag or something like that. And she lost like 10, 20 seconds, something like she lost time speaking because he went up there and essentially started to check her bag in the middle of her time going off. And then now as he walks, she says, "You stole my time." And he laughs. Check it out. Let me take it back a little bit. He laughs as she says that. "You stole my time."
All black, brown, yellow, everything else.
Thank you for stealing some of my time.
It's in a way to combine everybody.
Yes, indeed. And I'm calling you out.
The law said...
But I still got my message out.
On the record, they create other country. If you are lawmakers and you should follow...
So that's true. But think about it, for example, when we talk about, it's also the same thing with gender. But women have different impressions than men do. So when they want to get together, say, these are the things we're experiencing, it's fair for them to say that. Not by law, but be able to articulate a point.
But you're lawmakers. And
yeah, but we're talking POC or all that. It's not law.
When you say Asians, you're talking about countries. The countries that are powerful enough to go to war.
Yeah, sorry. I know. They got a question too. And I got to go upstairs to a presser. What do you got?
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, are you in support of illegals or migrants?
So I'm gonna answer straight up, right? Anybody coming here.
Now listen to this, because and this is a good question, because what they try to do is they try to make all immigrants fit in one boat. They try to make the legal ones seem the illegal ones seem just as legitimate as the legal ones. So check out what he has to say. Check out what he has to say.
So I'm gonna answer straight up, right? Anybody coming here, if they're seeking asylum, isn't doing it illegally. So there's nothing illegal.
They're not asylum seekers because the majority of the news reports that are going on right now, not one person that they interview say I'm here for asylum. They say I'm here for a job.
Yeah.
So that's a difference.
No,
it is a difference.
It is not. You're asking me. One can be both, and when they come into the border, they apply for asylum, which makes them asylum seekers. That is exactly the process.
A lot of them are unvetted. They show on every news channel how they're cutting through the fence.
The ones that are coming into the city.
No, what he's saying is they can be both. That's a lie. They cannot be both. You cannot be an asylum seeker. You cannot come to a country for asylum. This is an alderman. This is a sitting alderman in Chicago just telling blatant lies. You can't come to a country for quote unquote asylum and come for a job at the same time. You are coming for one reason. If you're coming for a job, that means you're not coming for asylum. You're coming for economic gain. What she just said is that every time you interview them, every time you put a camera in front of their face and say, why are you here? They're like, we here to get the bag. We here to get a job. We here to get work. None of them, not one is saying we're coming over here to seek asylum. Not one of them are saying that. Now, whether they apply for asylum is one thing, but they're admitting on camera that that's not what they're here for. Now he's saying, well, you can get both though. I mean, if you apply for asylum, you're an asylum seeker. No, because just applying for asylum does not legitimately make you an asylum seeker. You still have to go through the process, and they have to determine whether your asylum seeker application is legitimate or not. But I'm going to get him on that because I am going to question him on that.
Are the ones that have been registered as they come in because they're being bused. So they're not the ones that aren't being vetted.
And you have facts on that.
Yeah, we checked with the federal government.
I went to the now. This is what he's now. I'm recording it now. Check this out. Let me see, man. This is where I start saying, no, because I went there. I legitimately went to these places, and I saw them. I talked to them. I had a whole interview with all of them. And they told me specifically out their own mouth, oh, I mean, we're not really here. We're not really here for asylum. We're really here to get the bag. This is what they told me out their own mouth when I went there and talked to them. Out of their own mouth, that's what they told me. I'm trying to see where I have those clips because I'm gonna play them for you. But listen to what I said. Now, remember, I went to them and I asked them about that. Now, listen to this.
Police station, and I talked to them. They said their paperwork starts, their processing starts when they get to the city. They don't go through any vetting, any process. They're not approved before they get on. I have footage, me going to the police station, having a conversation with them directly, nobody in between.
Yeah.
They are saying this is what is coming out of their mouth.
Yes.
They are saying
they are incorrect.
Okay, so you are telling me that they're lying about being processed before coming over.
Being incorrect is different than lying.
Okay, well, either they're being processed.
I can test. I don't mean I'm lying to answer.
No. He said, "Oh, no. They're not lying." Because the thing is that he's trying to play it as if we don't know, and I'm telling you, no, it's not a mistake. It's not anything like that. I know for a fact because I went and talked to them themselves, and you're like, okay, well, they're incorrect. I'm like, no, they're not incorrect. There's no way they can be incorrect about them being processed. They have to know if they're being processed prior to coming over here. So either they're telling 100% the truth or they're not telling the truth at all. It can't be both. They can't be mistaken. They can't be, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is.
You're being crossed. If you say,
are you gonna hear the answer?
But let me finish.
Now he says, "Are you going to hear the answer?" He's trying to answer a question. I never asked a question. I'm making a statement. He was like, "Are you going to hear the answer?" Because he's trying to cut me off. Are you going to listen? Are you going to hear the answer? I'm going to take it back a little.
They are saying
they are incorrect.
Okay, so you are telling me that they're lying about being processed before coming over.
Being incorrect is different than lying.
Okay, well, either they're being processed.
And he threw me off a little bit. He was like, "No, being incorrect is better than lying." I'm sitting up there like, "What? No." I'm like, no, he's not going to sit up there and play that. Like, no, they are being processed. They just don't know how they're being. No, we not going to play that game. And I'm going to get him too. Oh, I saved this for YouTube specifically. I was tempted to put this on Twitter, how I get him later. Because he set himself up with a trap by saying this right here. Listen.
Test. It don't mean I'm lying to answer.
No. Either you're being processed. If you say,
are you gonna hear the answer?
But let me finish. If they're being processed and they say they're not being processed, they say they have not gone through anything, then they're not telling the truth. That's a lie.
Then they're incorrect.
Okay. How would they be incorrect if they say they just got?
Doesn't mean they're lying.
How would they not know if they're being processed?
Now, there's two different processes. When you come into the country, the federal government processes and vets whoever comes in if they seek asylum or the other. There's a separate process when you come to the city if you want to be put into shelter. That is a separate process than vetting on the front end. Two different processes.
Okay.
One process begins when you come, you go to a police station, they fill out a 311 request to then figure out the shelter system. That
this man is explaining, this is babble. This is nothing but babble, because that's not what they were up there saying at all. They were up there pretty much like, man, I'm just sitting up there waiting. I don't know what's taking so long. I'm waiting on them to get back to me. That's what they were saying. They were not in here. They were not up there talking about no. Well, we did get processed. I asked specifically in multiple cases, multiple times. I'm like, are you guys being processed to any degree whatsoever? And they repeatedly said no. Now I'm getting this clip is loaded up of them saying that. They repeatedly said, no, we're not being processed. No. They repeatedly said that. I'm having a clip loaded up right now. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Hold on. It's coming up damn. I don't know why it's taking, my computer's acting a little bit slow right now. So I'm gonna continue to play it as damn, what the hell? Okay. It just completely stopped. What is going on? So he's lying. No, I'm going to get him. I am going to get him on that. Hold on 1 second. Because now, in the meantime, you guys can like and subscribe to the channel as well too. Here it is. If I can't find it, you guys, I'm going to have to just pull it up on YouTube. Let me actually find it on YouTube, because it's probably a lot faster me doing it that way. Okay, come on now. Where is, okay. Here's the clip. Now.
Yeah, we checked with the federal government.
I went to the police station and I talked to them. They said their paperwork starts, their processing starts when they get to the city. They don't go through any vetting, any process. They're not approved before they get on. I have footage, me going to the police station, having a conversation with them directly, nobody in between.
Yeah.
They are saying This is what is coming out of their mouth.
Yes.
They
I am
are
telling
saying,
you they are incorrect.
okay, so you are telling me that they're lying about being processed before coming over.
Being incorrect is different than lying.
Okay, well, either they're being processed.
I can be wrong in the test. It don't mean I'm lying to answer.
No,
Now,
either
the
you're being
reality is,
processed. If
when
you
they
say,
come, are you gonna hear the answer?
but let me finish. If they're being processed and they say they're not being processed, they say they have not gone through anything, then they're not telling the truth. That's a lie.
Then they are incorrect.
Okay, how would they be incorrect if they say they just got?
Doesn't mean they're lying.
How would they not know
I
if they're
just
being
explained it.
processed?
Now, there's two different processes. When you come into the country, the federal government processes and vets whoever comes in if they seek asylum or the other. There's a separate process when you come to the city if you want to be put into shelter. That is a separate process than vetting on the front end. Two different processes.
Okay.
One process begins when you come, you go to a police station, they fill out a 311 request to then figure out the shelter system. That could be what the cops are referring to. That doesn't begin until they get to a shelter. That is completely separate from when somebody comes in from another country being vetted by the federal government.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not talking to the cops. I was talking to what you call asylum seekers directly.
Oh, you think they know more?
Directly, yes. They should know more. Okay.
Now he's like, well, yeah, the cops wouldn't know. I'm all like, no. I talked to and that's why I said what you would call asylum seekers. I'm not calling them what your ass is calling them asylum seekers. So yeah, that's I talked to asylum seekers, what you would call asylum seekers, and I said that specifically because of that.
Okay.
They're fleeing another country seeking help. They're not government.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
What is the process to make sure that they're not lying about being asylum seekers and just coming over here?
Yeah.
Because you're allowing thousands of them in a day.
Before, when they come in through the border of the federal government, the ones that are coming here are placed on buses. In order to even get on the bus, you have to be vetted and registered by the federal government.
Now check this out. Now I asked them, I'm all like, okay, if you're saying all of them are being vetted, that's what he's saying. Oh, I'm like, okay, cool. All of them are being vetted. Fine. So how can you tell the difference between the ones that are coming over here and the ones that are lying versus the ones who are actually being vetted? And I'm setting him up. Now he's saying they're all being vetted. They're all being vetted. He's swearing to God that they're all being vetted, right? That's what he's swearing, right?
They look at the other countries you're coming from and place all their public safety records based on the person who's coming. That gets vetted. If there's a concern, they can't even get on the buses that come here. So they're vetted on that end before they show up here through those different lenses.
Okay, so most of them that are breaking laws, when the police catch them.
Okay, sorry. If they're here and they break the law.
When
Yes.
the police catch them here in Chicago,
I gotcha.
Then how is it that they don't know who they are?
They would know who they are if they broke a law and arrested them.
They give them different names. There can be a lot of Julios. There can be a lot of Georges. There can be a lot of names that are Hispanic names that are being used, which there are.
And when you're being processed through the federal government, like everything else, you have identification records. Some folks even have, and you might have seen, ankle bracelets to keep families together.
But a
so
lot of people don't
being
even
tracked.
have ID.
They do when they come in and they're being vetted.
But the thing is that you're saying something, and
now check this out. Now, every time I speak, he makes this nervous look like, oh shit, this guy's about to give me that. Now check this out, right?
we're seeing footage of them crawling under barbed wire.
Right.
We're seeing
Chicago.
No, this happening at Texas, and then they're coming over here.
Folks
So
that get in there don't get on buses unless they're being vetted and registered.
We say
And okay.
There's a difference between somebody going under a fence and being.
So Governor Abbott vetted them before sending them on buses here?
Yes, right. Because when we get some of the buses and it's gotten better, we actually get records of who's coming. So that's all being part of the process too.
As far as records, since you're talking about records, what?
They're not getting, he is lying. He is blatantly lying. They are not getting any records about who is coming over here. That is not true. They don't know who's coming over here. They're sending, most of these aldermen don't know if there's going to be a bus there. We've shown several videos of aldermen on news sitting up there complaining like, man, you just dropped a bus off over in the neighborhood. Now I got to try to explain to the neighborhood what's going on. You guys aren't telling me anything. This is lying. He is lying.
What are your thoughts on the reports of the number of illegals coming here that are undocumented, and sources saying like they have to be like around double what's actually registered?
So I think if it was double the amount, it would look and feel a lot wilder. To be honest.
It already is.
Well, but I'm saying if you're saying double the amount, it would be more so. And the reason I say that is in the same amount of time that we've been talking, or that we're talking about the whole year that this has been happening, we've had way more Ukrainians come. 30,000 plus.
Check this out.
That is legit number.
Now what he's trying to do is he's trying to bring up the fact that, oh, well, hold on, the Ukrainians now, because he's trying to get us on his side and be all like, well, you guys think that it's the black and brown versus each other. And this is a tactic that they use. And this is something that's rehearsed because they try to bring up, oh, well, you know, hold on, Ukraine is coming over. Ain't nobody saying nothing about Ukraine, no. So what's going on with that? What's going on with Ukraine? And they're trying to say, well, what we need to do is we need to look at the bigger enemy. And the bigger enemy is Ukraine. See, it's the white man pinning the black and brown against each other, but it's really Ukraine that's the big problem. That's what he's trying to do.
First federal government. And because the federal government decides who gets a high five on the way in, who gets to support and who doesn't, you've never seen a Ukrainian sleep on a police officer. What we know is depending on where you're coming from, depending on where you're coming from, what countries, how the federal government views it, you either get the support coming in or you don't. Now that's, to be honest and historically, we know plenty, if not all generations prior, hadn't gotten any support, and if any got marginalized and screwed over on the way in. That's real, and we should talk about all of it.
But if that's not astronomical amount, then why is Mayor Eric Adams in New York trying to have them give them fights to get out of it?
Because they got more than we do.
But it's still an astronomical amount. And who's to say that? Yeah, that's reported in New York, so that's happening everywhere.
Right. Well, if you look at the track record of who's got the most, I think it's New York and then us, and looking at it. And so they're still taking it on. The challenge that we say, which is real, is that the president, because the federal government doesn't want to do anything, the president needs to give work authorization so these folks can get their own jobs, pay their own taxes, and keep it moving. So we don't need any government dollars to support that.
All for that, but why should they step over the people who've been coming through the process legally to be able to be citizens?
No one should step over. What I say is give them all the work authorization, whether they've been here for decades trying to go legal or not. Give them the money because that's more taxpayers for the city.
Okay, so who's last is first and who's first?
No, so he's just saying, hey, just give everybody everything. Just let them come over and get whatever they want. Just let them come over and get whatever they want.
First is last.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying, which I said very clearly while you're recording, everybody at the same time. It ain't first, last, or anything. Give them a blanket to everybody.
But how is that fair for people who have been standing in a line?
It's pretty fair because they want it now too.
Okay, so someone has been standing in a line that's been waiting and waiting and waiting. So someone just walked up and stand in front of them. You think that's fair?
Here's what I know, and you know this the same.
Come on, that's a yes or no question.
No, there's a reason. No, they ain't. Because we know in this community the actual framing of crabs in a barrel, right? You're willing to pull somebody else down instead of winning your own. Everybody should just get it taken care of and move forward together so we're not fighting about it.
But again, if you come and you get in a line, and you have been waiting,
and
to
again,
get service,
the federal government decides who get an easy pass and who gets a long line.
And then the federal government decided that the side chick should get taken care of instead of the one who's already here.
Well, that's right. The federal government has decided who they want to pick and choose. If you want to talk about what's unfair, it's the federal government, and then we're left.
But the local government is in agreement with it too. They're not bucking against the system.
You just proved it. Let's get back to the vetting process. So you
mean he's talking about, man, they should all get jobs and stuff like that. Now, before we talk about the vetting process, for the people who might be new, because I know we got a lot of newer subscribers, and shout out to every single last one of you all, and a special shout out to everybody who's watching live and who will watch on the playback. All right, shout out to every single last one of you all. Now, let me play this. Do you guys remember when I went over there? I for whatever damn reason, I can't find the actual clip on the computer. There's so much stuff. So I found this. This is the clip of them saying that they have no process. This is them. This is me when I did my broadcast about it. Come on, play the clip.
Yeah,
You said, huh?
I have presentation with officer immigration next year.
Next year. Okay, so your processing is
I don't know what is day, no, I don't know.
okay. What he said. Now I asked that because the thing is that we've been making the point. I've been making the point for long is that these people are unvetted. Nobody knows who they. I've been saying it. Have I not? I've been saying it. Nobody knows who these people are. So that's why I asked. I'm like, okay, you came from Texas, right? Was there any sort of processing in Texas before you got on the bus and came here? Now, this is what if you Vasquez literally just said they get processed before they get on the bus. You literally heard the alderman out of his own mouth. This happened earlier this morning. Say that they are being processed before they get on the bus by the federal government, and they can't get on the bus unless the federal government processes them. Now I'm going to play the clip. This is what I said. He said no. He said the processing is here. So I'm like, okay, you're being processed, right? And then I said, you're being processed. And then he says, no, my processing is next year. So I'm like, oh. So what he was saying was essentially they're not even in the process of being processed. Let me tell you, that's what when he said that. Hold on. What he said. Now I ask a follow-up to that. My final thing is, you said the processing, right? When you came to, because you came from the bus from Texas, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was there processing in Texas?
No, right here.
Now, didn't Vasquez literally just said, no, they're processed in Texas before they come over here. We know who they are before they come over here. So I asked this question. This is what got Vasquez messed up, is because I have this footage. Oh, okay. So you came here and then you waited. How long was the processing here?
In the USA.
Yeah, in the Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
I have presentation next year.
You said, huh?
I have presentation with officer immigration next year.
Next year. Okay. So this is him saying next year. So just remember that. Just remember that, okay? Now Vasquez is like, no, they're being processed. I'm being processed. They don't know. They don't know they're being processed. I asked, okay, did you go through? And I asked like 3 separate times. Did you go through any processing prior to getting on the bus and coming here? They said no. I sit up there and mention to him, I'm all like, you can't tell me the federal government is processing these people legally if they're crawling under barbed wire. That's not legal. It's not like anybody's legally. How are you vetting somebody crawling under the barbed wire? He's like, oh, well, no, hold on. Those people aren't coming to Chicago. How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't know who's getting on the bus. Because Greg Abbott, you guys want Greg Abbott to stop sending them over here. So it's not like Greg Abbott is vetting them properly, be all like, we're only sending the best of the best of the best to Chicago. He's not doing that. He's saying anybody and everybody get your ass on this bus and then go to Chicago. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. So the ones coming under the barbed wire, the ones coming over the gate, the ones coming through the gate, the ones coming swimming through the damn river, all of the ones dropping out the sky through a damn trampoline, all of those are getting on the same damn bus and coming to Chicago. There's no vetting process. But I even got him on that. Let me show you. Let me show you. Because after this, then
all of them. All of them.
Now remember, he spent this whole time, this has been over 10 minutes. He spent this whole time pretty much saying, oh no, they're being vetted, they're being vetted, they're being vetted. I promise they're being vetted. So check this out. And this, y'all want to keep note. I swear to God, y'all want to get a pen and a piece of paper, because anytime they say this, this is how you respond to it. Watch this.
That's right. The federal government has decided who they want to pick and choose. If you want to talk about what's unfair, it's the federal government, and then we're left.
But the local government is in agreement with it too. They're not working against the system.
Now, see, and that was our brother Greg. Shout out to brother Greg. Now he's sitting up there. Oh no, it's the federal government. The federal government. No. Because what they'll do, what they try to do is they try to play hot potato. They try to play government hot potato. Hold on, now it's not the local government. It's really the state government. It's not the city government. It's the state government. Then when you go to the state government, hold on, it's not us. It's the county. It's the county. Then you go to the county. Oh, it's the feds. It's the Fed. So they're playing little pass the blame hot potato. They're playing the hot potato immigrant, the hot tamale. They're playing the fucking hot tamale. All right. So they're all like, no, it's them, it's them, it's them. So that's what I'm like, no, we gonna do that. Yeah, the federal government, they're in on it, but y'all in on it too. Y'all just all approved of it. All of the damn aldermen approved to keep this a sanctuary city. So then when we press you about it, then you all like, man, the federal government, man, it's us against them. No, we're not playing that game. We're not playing that.
You just proved it. Let's get back to the vetting process. So you mean all of them? All the ones who are coming over here on the buses are being vetted.
Correct.
So
okay, correct. So that's correct. Cool. Check this out.
why are you, if they are being vetted, why are you allowing the ones that are coming over here stabbing each other in police stations, breaking into cars, breaking into Macy's, breaking into stores, committing crimes that has been documented?
Sure.
All of this has been documented. Why are you allowing them over here if you all are vetting them accordingly?
It's not about allowing, because if somebody commits a crime, they should be arrested and held accountable.
But these people, hold on. These people are these people are criminals prior to coming over here, though.
You tell me, because we live in the same city, that people don't say the same about folks that are born and raised here committing crimes and being let off too.
But this is
this is not that. No,
exactly like that when you hear that.
So you see, he completely deflects my question. Now he's looking me dead in my face when I ask him this question. And what he does is he faces everybody else and starts talking to them. He doesn't even answer my question to me. He's looking me dead in my face.
You just proved it. Let's get back to the vetting process. So you mean all of them? All the ones who are coming over here on the buses are being vetted.
Correct.
So why are you, if they are being vetted, why are you allowing the ones that are coming over here stabbing each other in police stations, breaking into cars, breaking into Macy's, breaking into stores, committing crimes that has been documented?
Man, this man looked nervous. And then now he tries to say sure, because he wants to cut me off again. Anytime I'm not done, he's trying to say sure. And then he's trying to interject. I'm not finished. I didn't say I was done. I didn't say that. But my point is, he swore, and I asked him right before I made this statement. He swore all of them are being being documented. They're all being vetted. We know who they all are. Okay, cool. All right, fine. I gave him that. I said, fine. Why are you then allowing the criminals to come over here? If you know who they are, why are you allowing criminals over here then? Because you can't say, well, you know, we're not sure if they're criminals or not. They haven't been processed. You're saying they've been processed. So that means you know they're criminals. So why are you letting criminals over here? So he says, sure. He tries to interrupt me, and then I stay my ground. Then he completely ignores me.
All of this has been documented. Why are you allowing them over here if you all are vetting them accordingly?
It's not about allowing, because if somebody commits a crime, they should be arrested and held accountable.
But these people, hold on. These people are.
No. It's not. Oh, it's not about allowing. If somebody commits a crime, they should be held accountable. First off, they're not being held accountable, because if that was the case, they would be deported. If that was the case, they would be deported. Exactly. They're trafficking children, prostitution, selling drugs, doing all of that stuff. Now, his whole thing is that now he's sitting up there trying to make it seem like they just started being a criminal when they came to Chicago. That's not the truth. That is not the truth. They didn't just start crime when they got to Chicago. They were criminals prior to coming to this land. And if he, based off of what he just said, if he was vetting them, he would never have allowed them to come over here. So either he's vetting them and letting criminals come over, or he's not vetting them at all. Both of those things can't be the truth. I mean, you have to pick one. You are vetting them and letting criminals willingly come to the city, or you are not vetting them. It is either one. It is black or white. Then he just completely, he gets stuck. He looks nervous when I ask him that question. Then he gets stuck, and then he just completely ignores me for the rest of the time.
No, these people are criminals prior to coming over here, though.
You tell me, because we live in the the same city, that people don't say the same about folks that are born and raised here committing crimes and being let off too.
But this
No, see, now he's like, no, you mean to tell me, people who are born and raised here being, no, that's not the damn same. We're not going to anybody else's country committing crimes. Nobody is saying that Chicago did not have crimes prior to that. But what you're saying is that you're legitimately vetting these people and they're still coming over here committing crimes. In my last broadcast, I said they were warning the police that they're letting prison gangs over here. They're literally letting prison gangs over here. So are you letting the gang members over here too, if you are vetting them the way you say you are?
No, this is not that. No,
exactly like that when you hear
never been murder
no.
capital. We never been murder capital. It's
No,
worse than
no,
the
hold on.
90s.
How are you?
Here's
worse than the 90s.
That's not.
No, I'm saying it's
that's
not
not
worse
the
than the
point.
90s. So why are you trying to say
It's
it
not
was
worse
happening?
than the 90s.
No, I didn't say it was. I
Okay.
said it was worse than the 90s.
Yeah. Sorry, my apologies. So if you pull the data together, and we didn't have the influx we had now back in the 90s, it was definitely worse than the 90s. Even prior to the migrants, it wasn't worse than the 90s, but the numbers were climbing up as far as criminality because of COVID making it harder.
Here, you said we are people here now in the 2000s.
Yeah.
When you have illegals coming here doing stuff.
decades older? I mean, really, how long have you been in Chicago?
Born and raised.
Okay, so you've been born and raised, so have I.
Yeah.
As I stated on that mic up there.
Yeah, legit.
And if that's the case, and you say it was worse than the 90s, many kids could.
This man ain't a drop of damn coffee in that cup. The dude is nervous as hell. This man is sipping on air. That's an empty ass cup. The cup was empty when he left the damn room. He was about to throw it away. He's been sipping so he can get a breath.
No, I'm saying it was worse in the 90s, and we're both saying.
You say in the 90s?
Yeah,
Now
worse.
they're sitting up there talking about the crime in the 90s. Oh, it was worse in the 90s.
It was worse back then than it is now as far as public safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I want to make sure I'm hearing you.
No, we understand. We all grew up here, so we're on the same page. How wild this was.
Okay.
I gotta go to the precedent.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure to get a respect because I know. Look, I appreciate that y'all.
So that was it. Then he leaves. This is how you get them. That's how, and I'm all like, you know what? That's fine. You not answering that question, hearing the question clearly, you refusing to answer that question answers that question. I don't even need to press you anymore, because when I ask you a question and you said a lie and I got it on camera, that's fine. I don't need to, because I know you're going to lie. I know what side you're on. I'm not trying to debate you. That's the thing. I'm not coming up there to debate him. I'm not coming up there to even really check him. I'm coming up there to say, this is the alderman. This is what they have to say. And I'm catching him slipping. Because he's saying, oh, no, they're being vetted. Okay, well, what about the ones that are coming under the gates, under the barbed wire? Oh, they're not coming to Chicago. How would you know they're coming to Chicago? The ones in Chicago are saying that they're not being vetted prior to coming to Chicago. They don't know them prior to coming to Chicago. Greg Abbott, the governor in Texas, is pretty much saying, get on the bus and go to Chicago, go to New York, go to DC, go anywhere else. Literally go anywhere else. I don't want to see you. I don't want to deal with you. Get out of here. So there is no vetting. You can literally go to them and ask them. I went to them. I'm the first person to actually ever go to them directly and say, hey, what are you doing here? Number one, what are the rules when you get here? Do you have any rules? Number two, what is the process of you guys becoming citizens here? Number three, I did that. You can't go on anywhere else on YouTube and find that. Anybody else doing that prior to me doing it. Now, it might be some copycats. I know I got a lot of those, but prior to me doing it, nobody was thinking about doing it. And I did that specifically because I knew that when you go to them and you ask them what the process is, they are going to tell you the truth. They're not going to know to lie. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to be like, man, I'm here looking for the bag. I'm here looking for the bag. So when Vasquez, when you go press Vasquez about it, Vasquez is going to be all like, oh no, they're all asylum seekers. They're all being vetted as asylum seekers. Oh no, don't say that. Don't say that. That's not the truth. I asked them. They said they're not. They said they're here for this reason. Oh, maybe they're here for both. No, maybe they're here for both. They're not here for both. You can't be here for both. You can't come to listen. That is literally, that's like saying I'm coming to this country because I'm coming to this country to seek asylum, but I'm also coming to this country for vacation. That's literally like saying that. I'm coming to this country because I'm a wanted criminal. I'm coming to this country to seek asylum because the government is corrupt and there's gangs all over the place. But I'm also coming here for vacation too, whichever one fits. See, they play this little game where it's vague enough to be all like, no, they're being vetted. This is why we have to do our job in making sure that we get all of this footage, because that footage right there messes up their whole thing. Oh, and it's never getting deleted. It's never, ever getting deleted. It's never going anywhere. All right. It's permanently up on YouTube, on my phone, on my laptop when I find it, on all of that. So anytime they say they're being vetted, it'd be like, are you sure about that? Because they're saying they're not. They're saying there's no process. How are you vetting people who have no paperwork? To vet people who have no license, no birth certificate, no paperwork, no documents at all, would take you a while to legitimately prove that. Then I said, okay, how do you know that they're coming over here and they're not just lying? How can you tell they're not just lying about being asylum seekers? Because anybody can say, I'm coming here to seek asylum. Okay, well, stamp, there you go. Anybody can say that. How do you know they're not lying? Then he tries to blame it on the federal government. Then he tried, well, no, that's the federal government. That's the federal government. Oh, hold on, though. Hold on. Because you said you know. So you know or you don't know. You said you know they are. So that means that Chicago should be independently vetting them. So either you know they are, or you're saying you're relying on the federal government, and then you're saying the federal government's not doing enough. So if they're being vetted, now check this out. This is the word. This is the slipping. I'm telling you, they can't hang with me. They don't want to see me. None of them. This is me. I wasn't even prepared to see him or talk to him. This is me having a sitting alderman in the city run away. What I just dropped? Damn. Excuse me, y'all. Get passionate. This is he's sitting up there sipping on an empty ass cup like I gotta go, guys. Nervous as hell. Because all of the facts are on our side. This is why it's important to know what you're talking about, all right? Because what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get you with a whole bunch of lies. Then you saw he was trying to be friendly. He was like, well, the crabs in the bucket and we're all in this together. And hold on, the Ukraine, they're the big bad guy. They're the big bad guy. You know what? We'll deal with the Ukrainians later. We're not even going to divert the attention because the Ukrainians aren't coming over here breaking into people's cars. They're damn sure not doing that. The Ukrainians aren't coming over here in the black neighborhood. They're not doing that at all. Okay. The Ukrainians are not coming over here threatening black residents. They're not doing that at all. So if the Ukrainians are a problem, and I'm not saying that they're not coming over here nearly as undocumented as all of these other people are, as all of these Hispanics are. You're not seeing and I'm not saying that they're not a problem, but we're going to handle one thing at a time. Because what they're trying to do is be like, oh, no, there's a bigger problem. The Ukrainians, it's the black and brown. We got to stick together. No. We're going to deal with this first. Because this is more pressing to our community at the moment, because that's where y'all sending them to. And then we're going to handle the Ukrainians. Now, here's the thing. He's trying to complain about the Ukrainians coming over here, but he's trying to keep the city a sanctuary city. You can't have both. The Ukrainians are able to come over here because Chicago is a sanctuary city. So you can't say, oh no, the big problem is the Ukrainians. Okay, we'll get rid of the sanctuary city status and the Ukrainians can't come over here just like the Hispanics. So we're not, either way, we got to get rid of the sanctuary city status. But what you want us to do is get off the Hispanics back about it. No, because the Ukrainians aren't the ones going to the city hall talking about sanctuary city. That's y'all little Hispanic community. So no, we're not going to deal with that. We're going to deal with the ones who are advocating for it, because the Ukrainians, as much as they're over here, they're being quiet as hell. We don't know how many over here. We don't know where they are because they're being quiet. The Hispanics are not being quiet. They're being very loud. So you guys are the more pressing issue at the moment. But don't worry, we're going to get to the Ukrainians, but they all need to go. So this is why we're saying everybody needs to go. So when you see them and you press these aldermen about the facts, and now you saw how me and the brothers and sisters were sitting up there talking to them. We were talking on the legality of all of it, the legality of the whole thing. We weren't sitting up there being all like, man, and they hurt my feelings, and they sit up there, they're ugly and short, and we weren't sitting up there with hurt feelings. We weren't sitting up there trying to get shit off our chest. We were there handling business, what they said, standing on lineage business. That's what we were there on. We were there saying, well, how do you know they're legal if they're saying they're not being processed? You mean the people who are crawling under barbed wire saying they're not being processed till they come to the city, stabbing people, breaking into Macy's, committing crimes? You're vetting them? You're vetting them. Okay? Now, notice how I keep saying, I kept asking the same question. I said, you say you are vetting them. I said that specifically. Let me show it one more time. Hold on.
Sure.
All of this has been documented. Why are you allowing them over?
Well, that's right. The federal government has decided who they want to pick and choose. If you want to talk about what's unfair, it's the federal government, and then we're left.
But the local government is in agreement with it too. They're not bucking against the system.
You just proved it. Let's get back to the vetting process. So you mean all of them? All the ones who are coming over here on the buses are being vetted.
Correct.
So
yeah, all of them. Yeah, he said correct, and he would know that how. He would know that how, because it's not like the federal government isn't enforcing that. He doesn't know. That's a lie. That is a lie. And by that clip, by me going to the police station, I have proof that that's a lie. I have the most solid, undefensible proof, period, that is a lie. That's not no right-wing talking point. That's not no hatred. That's not no anti-immigrant, anti-Semitic. This is them saying it out of their own mouth. Oh, no, we're not being vetted. We're not. So that's a lie. And then, even if he wants to stick with that, I allowed him to. I said, fine. I said, cool. Okay. So why are you letting the criminals over here? When I said that, he was done. When I said that, this man took the rest of his little empty-ass cup and he was, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. He was over with. Because if he is vetting them, if they are being vetted, and by vetting them, they should be able to tell if they're criminals. Because these people are coming over here committing repeat offenses. So if they are being vetted, then they would know if they're criminals. So they should not be allowing the criminals to come over here. Correct? So if they're being vetted, why are they allowing the criminals to come over here? Something's not adding up. What are you doing? And then he was all like, oh, well, I mean, anybody commits crime. No. That's not what that is. And he ran away. We got to press these folks. Okay? We got to represent. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to change the public narrative. So it's up to us as a community, not me, not you, all of us as a community to do this together. Whether you're from Chicago, New York, DC, Atlanta, Texas, California, anywhere. All right. He fled. Yeah, he fled. He's a fleer. He's a fleer. His people are fleers. He fled. No matter where you are, if you have the opportunity, you have to go there. You have to represent. When you get there, turn your phone. It's very important because it shows up better on YouTube. Turn your phone sideways because it shows up better on YouTube. When you turn it long ways, then people like me, I gotta edit the clip so it can show the long way. All right, get there and be all like, okay, how do you know they're not lying? Oh, the federal government. How does the federal government know they're not lying when you're allowing thousands of them to come over here at a daily? Thousands of them are coming over here. When I say here, I mean like in the country. Thousands of them are coming over every single day in this country. What do you mean they're being vetted? They're not being vetted. They're not being vetted at all. They're coming over here, and the proof that I get, they admit the fact that they're coming over here for work. That completely destroys the narrative that they are asylum seekers. All right, the narrative that they came and they're seeking asylum because they're from a war-torn country. That's the whole thing. Oh, we're from a war-torn country. The country is so bad. The country is so terrible. It's they need help, and you got to help them. No, because they're saying they're coming over here for work. And this might seem a little messed up. It might seem a little messed up. I'm going to say it anyway. The Ukrainians are coming over here with a more legitimate reason than the Hispanics. Let me repeat. The Ukrainians are coming over here with a more legitimate reason than Hispanics. At least there is a legitimate war in Ukraine right now. At least they can say that. To be very honest, and I'm not caping for them at all. At least they could say that. The Hispanics, they literally are just coming over here to get a job. There's not a war in Mexico going on. There's not a war. Mexico's in war with who? They're coming over here to get the job like they've been doing for years. There's not no war in Mexico. At least there's a war in Ukraine. At least they can make more of the argument that they are really asylum seekers, even though I'm not caping for them and they need to go. I'm not caping for them at all. But y'all saying y'all both asylum seekers, asylum from what? Where's the war? You would think that Mexico is being bombed and nuked as we speak with the amount of asylum seekers that are coming over here. You can at least say that for Ukraine, not even caping for them. See, when you get this in like the back of your head, you get the aldermen scared of you. When the aldermen are scared, it completely loses legitimacy. Oh, their legitimacy is over with. This is why I'm telling you, this is why they got to play these little games where they having pop-up meetings over here. Oh, this is another meeting. Okay, the meeting's canceled. Oh, there's another meeting right over here. You couldn't make it. Sorry. This is why they're doing that. Because they know they can't hang with us. They know the second we get there, we straight to the facts. We straight handling business. We standing on business. We got them running away. So that's why they having little pop-up meetings so they can seem like they know what they're talking about. But that's fine. That's fine. You want to play dirty? That's fine. Shouldn't have played that way. You shouldn't have played that way. Because if y'all were more legitimate, I wouldn't have clips of y'all looking stupid and cowardly. I wouldn't have that. But since y'all want to play that way, I'm just going to have more clips of that. Since y'all want to play that way, we're just going to get just a tad bit more organized. We're just going to show up to the meetings a tad bit earlier. Y'all saying the meeting starts at 10? Nah, the meeting probably really starts at 9. So we're going to show up at 8. How about we're just going to show up at 8? Oh, that's all we got to do. We're just going to have to be a little ahead of the curve. We're just going to have to counter what y'all doing a little bit more. If they say 10 o'clock, the meeting really start at like 9:30 or 9. So we just show up at 8 o'clock. We're just going to show up at 8 o'clock. How about that? Because y'all not going to say, 10 o'clock, and then go to Little Village and then say, y'all show up at 9, though, so y'all can get in front of the line and y'all can hog up all the speaker section. No. We're going to beat them to the punch every time. This is how they want to play it. So whether you in Chicago, whether you in New York, whether you in Atlanta, whether you in California, whether you in Texas, whether you in South Carolina, North Carolina, anywhere you are, anywhere they're dropping them off. When you see they have city meetings, because they always have it, and they have to make it public. They have to make all of them public. Check it on the regular daily basis. Check it on the daily basis, because they'll say, oh, we have a meeting Wednesday. You check Monday, the meeting is Wednesday, but Tuesday they added a secret meeting. But you don't think to check Tuesday because you check Monday. No, check Monday, check Tuesday, check Wednesday, check Thursday, check all of these times. If you can't make it, send that text out to somebody who can make it. Be all like, hey, I got work, I got kids, I got something to do, I can't make it, but I'm letting y'all know so y'all can make it. Because that's the thing. When we start communicating more, and we start getting like how they are, when we start getting more in sync and on code with each other, it doesn't take a whole bunch of us. It was only, we ran the alderman off. It was only what, like three of us. It was only 3 of us there. The whole alderman he had to run off. You don't need that much. That's our advantage. They need a lot of people. They need elderly, they need disabled, they need kids, they need all of that. We don't need that. All we need to do is be at the right place at the right time. That's all we need to do. If you can't be there, that is fine. You got a life to live, you got a family to take care of, fine. That's cool. Send that information to somebody else. Be all like, hey, I can't make it, but Michael, you go over there, you check them out or whatever. Get the footage. 2, don't just go over there cursing them out or trying to call them out or whatever the case is. Get there, press them like you're the press. You know how they be all like, sir, do you want to respond to the allegation? Now you be like that. Be all like, okay, how do you know? Sit up there and be like, how do you know? Then let them speak. What you're trying to do, you're not trying to debate them. Notice, I was not trying to debate him. I was giving him the rope to hang himself, metaphorically, because I do not condone violence. I do not condone violence. No. Metaphorically, I was giving him enough rope to hang himself. I was asking this, and then I was like, every time he lied, I corrected him on the lies. But I was like, okay, well, how do you know this? Well, how do you know this? Every time I say, well, how do you know this? I wasn't sitting there like, no, this. I'm correcting him. I'm checking the lies, and then he has to tell another lie. I'm filming all of this. So then when I get back to the people, I'm all like, we caught him. He's been caught. He's been debunked. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what you do. Don't sit up there and try to debate him. Don't cut him off or whatever the case is. I didn't really even try to cut him off. Now he tried to cut me off a couple of times, and I finished my statement, or I corrected a lie, but I wasn't trying to cut him off. I'm letting him hang himself. That's what you do. Just sit there, ask the question. When they lie, correct it. Be all like, no, that's not true. We know that's not true. So what do you have to say? That's how you get them. If we all get on that same level, we all get in sync. Everybody here got a smartphone. Everybody here got a camera. We can all do that. We can all press. And it don't have to be Chicago. It don't have to be New York. It don't have to be nowhere. I mean, like where the migrants are. All right. You can get that. You can get that footage. If y'all send that back to me, I can report it, and I will give y'all credit for it. I'm not gonna steal y'all work. I'll give y'all credit. You know what I'm saying? And I can be all like, this is how we have the nation is on the same page. Instead of one person doing the camera work, everywhere they go, they can't run away because they're being questioned, because they're being pressed. This, I'm gonna tell you, this is why Bernie Sanders lost. If we really want to go back to it, this is why Bernie Sanders lost. Why Bernie Sanders lost his presidential campaign, one of the main reasons is because his black support was gone when that one woman asked him about reparations and he ran off. When she asked him about reparations and he ran off, it was over with for him. Stacey Abrams is another one. When that one brother, when he asked her about reparations and she said no and ran off. He was smart enough to record it, because if he didn't record it, nobody would have believed it. She would have said, no, that's not what I said. You misheard it. He recorded it. He asked the question. He was on business, standing on business. That one single question completely destroyed her campaign. Anytime you see them over there, Jim Clyburn, Stacey Abrams, all of these folks who are coming over here, Al Sharpton, anybody, Congressional Black Caucus, city alderman, the mayor, all of them. You ask them a question, make sure you catch them slipping. That's what we got to do. We don't got to debunk them. We come back here to tell the truth and to debunk their narrative. This is the base. This is the HQ. We come here to clear up everything. This is where we show the statistics. This is where we show the clips. This is where we compile the data. What you're out there doing is all you're out there doing is getting the data. You're receiving the data. You're not there to debate them. You're there to catch them slipping. That's what you're there to do. You're there to catch them in a lie. You're there to catch them making saying something that they don't know of, that they don't have proof of. I literally said, you clearly don't have proof that they're asylum seekers, and clearly he didn't. That's why he had to run. Clearly, this is how we get them. Since they want to be organized, we'll let them have that. They can't beat us. They can't beat us, and it's not going to take that much work. It's not going to take that much effort. It's all they have to. They're sitting up there creating whole organizations. We don't got to do that, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't create any organizations. I'm not hating on all organizations, but we're not with organizations right now. What we're with is the grassroots. They asked, what organization were you with? I'm not with any organization at all. I'm just a foundational Black American doing my foundational Black American duty to the people. That is all you're doing. You're not with no organization, because by you being a citizen, by you being a resident, by you actually being legitimate in this country and not a part of an organization, they can't say you have a bias. They can't say that. You come off as more legitimate. That's what they have to do. Because they're not citizens. They're not legitimate. They're not documented. So they have to be an organization. We are more powerful because we are not an organization. We are just the people. We are just the citizens. We are just foundational Black Americans. And even the non-FBA. I'm not even tripping on the non-FBA. Y'all, this is when we be one. All right. This is when y'all getting the footage on our behalf. When we not there, y'all doing that, and we working together on this. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want y'all to think like, because you're not FBA, you can't get no good footage. Everybody get footage, and that's everybody's job. All right. So we are the people. The people are gonna beat any organization. Or organization cannot beat the people. The lineage, that is what it is. The heritage, that is what it is. We're going to win. We're going to win. It's not done. It's not done. They're showing that they're scared. They're showing that they're scared. He's probably never going to want to talk to me again. Probably. It's okay. I don't care. I've been on here for a little bit longer than I wanted to, but man, I had to get this out to the people. Shout out to, let me see. That's Introc 22 for the $10 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Also the Cash Apps too. Thank you to our good sister Pam. Thank you, Pam, and thank you, Derek. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Prosperity, I see you, sister. She was there. She was there too, representing. She was there. She was the woman I just showed the clip of. They're representing. It don't take much. It don't take much. All you got to do is be in the right spirit. We literally have God on our side, people. We are righteous here. All right. Shout out to the Zelle. Oh yeah. Also shout out to the PayPals I've been getting, the Zelles I've been getting. Shout out to Wesley. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the Zelle. I appreciate every single last one of you all. This makes it a lot easier for me to do this. Oh, yeah, we definitely did. We definitely did. Shout out to her for the $19.99 super chat. She said we rocked this. She did. She came there. She represented. She was articulate. She was there. She wasn't doing all this cursing and yelling and screaming and trying to get attention. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. All you got to do is make an impact. That small little bit you do makes a lot of impact. Because let me show you. They were there. They were there. What they're trying to do is they're trying to change. This is them taking a whole bunch of pictures afterwards, being all like, the Black and brown are together, we're only this together. This is them trying to do that. Hold the picture up and trying to take this picture, we're only this together. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to change the image of how it looks. We as the people, we are the people. I am the people. You are the people. We cannot allow that to happen. And we won't. We won't. They won't succeed. They won't succeed. Oh, we just got to tighten up a little bit. We just a little bit. They wouldn't have to be putting in all this work if we weren't sitting up there combating them anyway. If we weren't saying anything, it would be smooth sailing. They got to have all these extra meetings and secret meetings and surprise meetings. They're doing all of that because of the work we're doing. And we ain't even collectively come together yet. We've just been out here just handling business. Can you imagine when we start actually coming together and handling business in unison, in sync? They're done. They're done. It's over. It's over. I'm not here to tell you that there's no hope. I'm here to tell you that we're winning. I'm here to tell you that we're winning. All right. We still got an uphill battle. It's not done. We still got a lot of work to do, but we're winning. I can tell you that much. They wouldn't be running away if we weren't. The winners aren't running. We're not. But brothers and sisters, man, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us. I really am. So, like I said, check on a regular basis because they be having these little surprise meetings and stuff like that. Check. If you are in a local area and you know you and a brother and a sister, y'all go to the meetings and y'all meet each other frequently, y'all get each other's number. So that way, if somebody be all like, hey, did you hear about this? Did you know about this? Did you check this out? Did you see this? So that way you don't show up by yourself. You got some backup. You don't need a whole army of people. You just need one or two solid brothers and sisters to back you up and you straight. That's an army. They need an army. We need 3 people. That's it. Man. Brothers and sisters, we winning, y'all. We winning. We just got it. When we get more organized, it's over with them. They don't want to see us in 2024. They don't want to see us in 2024. And it is an election year. And it's a presidential election year. Do y'all know how much we can change? How much we can do? I'll be here all night. I'll be here all damn night. But, brothers and sisters, I gotta go. Been here for a minute, speaking with you guys, bonding with you guys, talking to you guys about what's going on. So we know our mission. We know what we got to do. We know how we got to represent. And I appreciate every single last one of you brothers and sisters for being here. Y'all make sure you follow me on my various social media platforms. That's Afro Elite on Instagram and then The Afro Elite on Twitter. The links to those are in the description below. Also, please, we're close. We are so close, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this. Tell your family members. Share this. Leave a like. Leave a comment. All of that stuff. If we're not even at 10,000 subscribers yet and we got aldermen running. We have sitting city officials running. We running the block and we're not even at 10,000. Can you imagine what we can do when we start growing our numbers, when we start getting to 10,000? Can you just imagine? Just imagine. They're scared. They're scared right now. They're terrified, and I'm so glad. It makes me happy. But with that being said, my good brothers and my sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.